A few weeks ago, I was speaking at Amplify in Cork. It was a digital marketing conference and I was there to speak on social media. Towards the end of my speech, I went to Q&A with the crowd and there were some tips I shared that I think would be really valuable for yourself. With that, I've put together some highlights and I hope you enjoy. The thing for me that really frustrates me about social media, and even throughout the talk over today and yesterday, I'm sure you had so many people say, you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. And they all promote this obligation to get onto social media. They don't really present the opportunity, the really exciting things that you can do through social media. So I think it's about getting excited about social media rather than feeling like you have to be on social media. So if you're trying to get a brand out there, we all know that power of getting out there ourselves, networking, meeting people. But networking through social media, publishing, putting yourself out there through social media is absolutely outstanding. So anybody that is building up a personal brand, embrace social media because of the opportunity to connect with so many people. You're not really having to worry about proximity. The world is your oyster. You can connect with people the other side of the world in an instant. It's that social media is a long-term game, not a short-term game. Okay? So Rian, for example, said, look, I'm starting this, I'm seeing traction, but I want more and I want more. The thing I would stress to all of you is if you're building up your own businesses or if you're building up your own profile, your personal profile, it comes in time. It doesn't come right away. Play social media slowly. Work at it, look at what you've been doing, refine, and continue on, and continue on. Social media is all about connecting with an audience, building a relationship with them, building a relationship with them to the point that they introduce you to somebody else. Then you build a relationship with that other person, and it starts to unfold and unfold, or compound and compound. So social media is all about compounding growth. It doesn't really make sense if you just try it for a month, or 2 months, or 3 months. It's an always-on approach where you start and you grow. So if any of you have businesses, small, medium, or if you're managing brands, don't look at social media and think, oh, this is great, we'll do a month's campaign. It doesn't work like that. It's all about building friendships and building followers and building those and growing those and seeing the results compound. And one thing I really hope you get out of this is that social media is actually pretty simple. A lot of the lessons that we've learned just in terms of being social all apply themselves on social media. That's something that I can't understand, that people have this almost divide where they don't realize that the things they do in the physical world all match up and actually work that little bit better in the social media world. But because it's a different area, they kind of get a bit ill-footed. So a lot of businesses make this weird, do this weird thing where they just randomly post a statement. Or they put up a picture with no context. Give context when you post. Actually have some sort of a call to action for people to engage. You said you wanted people to engage with your posts. Give them a reason to engage. A lot of people post crap on social media and there's very little to engage with, there's very little to connect with. And you know yourself that in a day-to-day kind of scenario, in a physical world, if you're talking to a friend and if you only really talk at a superficial level, you'll only really build a superficial relationship. But if you actually reach out and engage and get deep with your followers, remember the people that follow your brand on social media are those that are actually connected. They have an interest in you. They've subscribed to your business. So on that basis, let them in. As much as I'm here talking and promoting social media, marketing is one of these funny things where there's numerous mediums. And for some businesses, you may get a return on investment through social media, but it might not be as efficient a return on investment as you might get in another medium. And so sometimes when you're sitting in an office and you're frustrated because you're spread across a number of different marketing mediums, I'd really encourage you to audit and look at, okay, this is the work we're doing on this medium, this is the work we're doing on that medium, this is the work we're doing on that medium, this is the money we're putting in, this is the time we're putting in. These are the results we're getting. And look at where you're getting the most efficient ROI. It's something that not a lot of businesses do. There is this kind of confusion around marketing and people don't quantify it as much as they should. And they certainly don't quantify it in terms of the input they're putting in versus the return they're getting out. So I just encourage you to do that, and I'd encourage you to look at all the mediums you're using. And that's not just, web marketing versus social media. In social media, that's, okay, well, social media is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat. Audit the platforms, right? So break down the platforms and go, okay,
This is the time and energy and money I'm putting into Facebook. This is the time and energy and money I'm putting into Instagram. Similarly with Twitter, similarly with LinkedIn, similarly with Snapchat, right? Greg was talking about Snapchat. He was saying on one side it's dead, and then the other, well, you should look at it. The fact of the matter is, for some businesses it works, for some it doesn't. Everybody here has a different business, is looking for a different return on their investment, and so what I would strongly urge you to do is audit the platforms you're using. You don't have to be on every platform. Some of the businesses we represent are huge, and they're only on Facebook, or they're only on Instagram, because that's where they get their most efficient ROI. And as an agency, we have to stand over the results. They literally ring us up and go, I've given you this much money, tell us what we got out. So we have to do that on our side to ensure that we're in a position to say, this is the most efficient ROI you could get. So for yourselves in using social media, don't think that you have to use every platform. Trial them, see what works, see what doesn't work, and focus in on where you'll get the most efficient return on investment. This is something that comes up so much that people are petrified of complaints on social media. I would strongly urge you, in whatever business you're in, to actually embrace the complaints. The fact of the matter is, shit happens. It's not about the mistakes, it's how you deal with them. I strongly think actually mistakes can be used tactically to show off just how good your business is, just how good your customer service is, and actually sell en masse. So when somebody complains on social media, chances are they're complaining about something that perhaps 9 or 10 or 15 or 20 other people have an issue with, but they haven't raised it. That's the fact. A lot of people don't complain. But for those people that do, if they do it en masse, you get to address it en masse. I hope that sinks in, because for me, I hate the way people try to address complaints in the shadows. When the fact of the matter is, if somebody's raising something, I guarantee that's an issue with a lot more people. And so social media gives you this fantastic opportunity to address a complaint en masse and address the complaint with those that didn't complain. Does that make sense? So it's such efficient customer service. And so I would really embrace it, and don't shut off comments, which is what so many people do when a complaint comes up. Actually dive right in and show off how good you are. I think with social media, like, a lot of people are familiar when they build a business and they become a company. That business is like a person in the eyes of the law. When you go on social media, that person gets a personality. Use it. Don't create some monotone monster that just is completely unattachable to or unconnectable to. Create something that's personal. Create something where it's human. So bring your character to life in a thought-out fashion, of course, that's complementary to your business and your business's goals. Do not just do social media for the sake of doing it. Make sure you know exactly what you want from social media, and review and refine every week or every month, whenever that interval is, but review it in line with what you want from it and see what was working versus what wasn't. Pull out what wasn't and reinforce what was. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid if somebody's got this weird and wacky idea. It might be the idea that works. So put it out there. And if it's not, you can see the results of that in real time. If you have a business page, you'll see the analytics come up in real time. And if it's bombing, just pull it off. So don't be afraid to follow your competitors. Follow them all. And then follow some international ringleaders as well. Take inspiration from them, learn from some of their mistakes. It is great when a competitor makes a mistake at their expense, and you can just take the lessons and move forward. So follow your competitors. You will be shocked at how much they share and how much you can take from them.